The life and sad ending of Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno was born Louis Jude Ferrigno Sr. on November 9, 1951, in Brooklyn, New York, U.S. To Victoria and Matt Ferrigno, a police lieutenant. He is of Italian descent. Soon after he was born, Ferrigno says he believes he suffered a series of ear infections and lost 75 to 80% of his hearing, though his condition was not diagnosed until he was 3 years old. Hearing loss caused Ferrigno to be bullied by peers during his childhood. They used to call me Deaf Louie, deaf mute, because of my hearing and because of the way I sounded. Ferrigno started weight training at age 13, citing bodybuilder and Hercules star Steve Reeves as one of his role models. Because he could not afford to buy weights, he made his own using a broomstick and pails which he partially filled with cement. He was also a fan of the Hercules films that starred Reeves. Ferrigno's other personal heroes as a child were Spider-Man and the Hulk. Ferrigno attended St. Athanasius Grammar School and Brooklyn Technical High School, where he learned metalworking. Due to ear infection suffered soon after birth, Ferrigno lost 75 to 80% of his hearing and has been using hearing aids since the age of 5. Ferrigno says his hearing loss helped shape his sense of determination in his youth, saying, "I think that if I wasn't hard of hearing I wouldn't be where I am now." Early on, as a youngster it was difficult, but I am not ashamed to talk about it because many people have misconceptions about hearing loss, like who has hearing loss and what it's like not to hear, so I do talk about it. I think my hearing loss helped create a determination within me to be all that I can be and gave me a certain strength of character too. Anytime I do a movie or a TV show, I make them aware of my hearing loss at the beginning, and that makes it much easier for all of us to communicate and get the job done. Ferrigno married Susan Groff in 1978, divorcing a year later. On May 3, 1980, he married psychotherapist Carla Green, who then also began serving as his manager. She later became a personal trainer. They have 3 children, Shanna, born 1981, Louis Jr., born 1984, and Brent, born 1990. After graduating from high school in 1969, Ferrigno won his first major title, IFBB Mr. America. 4 years later, he won the title IFBB Mr. Universe. Early in his career he lived in Columbus, Ohio, and trained with Arnold Schwarzenegger. In 1974, he came in second on his first attempt at the Mr. Olympia competition. He came in third the following year, and his attempt to beat Arnold Schwarzenegger was the subject of the 1977 documentary Pumping Iron. The documentary made Ferrigno famous. These victories, however, did not provide enough income for him to earn a living. His first paying job was as a $10 an hour sheet metal worker in a Brooklyn factory, where he worked for 3 years. He did not enjoy the dangerous work and left after a friend and coworker accidentally cut off his own hand one day. Following this, Ferrigno left the competition circuit for many years, a period that included a brief stint as a defensive lineman for the Toronto Argonauts in the Canadian Football League. He had never played football and was cut after 2 games. Ferrigno left the world of Canadian football after he broke the legs of a fellow player during a scrimmage. Ferrigno competed in the first annual World's Strongest Man competition in 1977, where he finished 4th in a field of 8 competitors. In 1977, Ferrigno was cast as the Hulk in The Incredible Hulk. Despite the fact that they were rarely on camera together, Ferrigno and Bill Bixby, who played the Hulk's normal alter ego, became friends. Ferrigno has described Bixby as a mentor and father figure who took him under his wing. Ferrigno also singles out the instances in which Bixby directed Ferrigno in some episodes as particularly memorable. He continued playing the Hulk role until 1981, although the last 2 episodes were not broadcast until May 1982. Later, He and Bixby co-starred in 3 The Incredible Hulk TV movies. In November 1978 and again in May 1979, Ferrigno appeared in Battle of the Network Stars. In 1983, Ferrigno appeared as John Six on the short-lived medical drama Trauma Center. In the early 1990s, Ferrigno returned to bodybuilding, competing for the 1992 and 1993 Mr. Olympia titles. Finishing 12th and 10th, respectively, he then turned to the 1994 Masters Olympia, where his attempt to beat Robbie Robinson and Boyer Cole was the subject of the 1996 documentary Stand Tall. After this, he retired from competition. Ferrigno played himself during intermittent guest appearances on the CBS sitcom The King of Queens, beginning in 2000 and continuing until the program's conclusion in 2007. He and his wife Carla were depicted as the main characters' next-door neighbors. Because of his role as the title character on The Incredible Hulk, he is often the target of Hulk jokes by Doug and his friends. He made cameo appearances as a security guard in both the 2003 film Hulk and the 2008 film The Incredible Hulk, in which he also voiced the Hulk. In the latter film, Bruce Banner bribes him with a pizza in order to gain entry into a university building. He has continued to voice the Hulk in Marvel Cinematic Universe films, uncredited. Ferrigno took part in a Smosh video, titled I Love Lou Ferrigno, in which he is tracked down by one of Smosh's members, Anthony, in Hollywood. The skit ends with Ferrigno knocking Anthony unconscious, in response to Ian's claim that Anthony stole Ferrigno's Butterfinger. He has his own line of fitness equipment called Ferrigno Fitness. In January 2009, he provided equipment to The Price is Right for use as a one-bid prize, and demonstrated the equipment himself. In 2010, Ferrigno appeared as himself in an episode of Sunny with a Chance titled My Two Chads and as himself in an episode of the fictional series Mackenzie Falls. He also voiced the character Billy the Hero in the animated series Adventure Time. Ferrigno's voice was used for the Hulk in the 2012 film The Avengers and its 2015 sequel Avengers: Age of Ultron. He continued to be known as the voice of the Hulk until 2015's Avengers: Age of Ultron. Ferrigno himself has been replaced by Mark Ruffalo since the 2012 film The Avengers as the voice of the Hulk. He is known as a contestant on Season 5 of the NBC reality television series The Celebrity Apprentice, which premiered in February 2012. He appeared on the program in order to raise money for his charity, the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Ferrigno was Team Unanimous project manager for the task depicted in the 5th episode, I Am Going to Mop the Floor with You, which was to create a viral video to promote O-Cedar's Promist Spray Mop. In June 2012, Ferrigno was sworn in as a reserve deputy to the San Luis Obispo County, California, Sheriff's Department. There he completed his Level 1 Law Enforcement Academy, bringing his training up to full peace officer status. In September 2013, Ferrigno was sworn in as a special deputy to the Delaware County, Ohio, Sheriff's Department. In May 2018, President Donald Trump appointed Ferrigno to be a member of his Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. Each elite person has a life of darkness. How much effort has been spent in that life? How much loneliness has been endured? How many times of grievance, many complaints, so much suffering, all for me alone? The most luxurious thing in human life is an immortal child's heart, an eternal belief, a healthy body, and someone who loves forever in hand.